Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Dear students, Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back to the YouTube channel of Multan Public School and College for Boys and Girls. This is Cambridge Biology 5090 and I am your teacher Kalsoom Fatima. Today we are going to discuss active transport. By the end of this video, you should be able to define the term active transport. Then you should also be able to discuss importance of active transport in iron uptake by the root hair cell and glucose uptake by the cells in the villi. What does surface area to volume ratio mean to a cell? It is recommended that you watch the video at least 3 times for better understanding. Let's understand the definition of active transport. It is the movement of ions into or out of a cell through the cell membrane from a region of their lower concentration to a region of their higher concentration against a concentration gradient using energy released during respiration. For the better understanding of the topic, dear students, sit with me. The energy used in the cells is called ATP or adenosine triphosphate. Active transport requires protein transporters and ATP or the energy which is produced during cellular respiration by mitochondria. Remember, active transport occurs in absorption of mineral salts by root hair cells and absorption of glucose and amino acids by cells of villi and the small intestine. Let's understand how active transport occurs in root hair cell. You can see that the amount of nitrates in the soil is lesser in number as compared to the nitrates in the root hair cell. Now these nitrate molecules will be absorbed by active transport by the root hair cell from the region of their lower concentration to the region of their higher concentration. Let's compare diffusion osmosis with active transport. In the case of diffusion and osmosis, molecules are moving from the region of their higher concentration to the region of their lower concentration. Sometimes protein carrier molecules may be required, but it is not always necessary, but no energy is used in any case. Whereas in the case of active transport, molecules are moving from a region of their lower concentration to a region of their higher concentration with the help of carrier proteins and by the usage of cellular energy in the form of ATP molecule. Dears, have you ever thought what happens with the food that we eat? How it is absorbed into your body? The food that is digested by your stomach and is absorbed by the small intestine, its surface area is increased into many folds by finger-like projections called villi. These villi again have microvilli on the epithelial cells. These microvilli are further increasing the surface area. The thin epithelium covering the villi is 1 cell thick to increase the diffusion rate. These microvilli are further increasing surface area for absorption of the digested food material. The lacteal, which is represented by skin color, they are the tiny lymphatic vessels and they absorb fatty acids and glycerols. The blood capillaries, they are surrounding the lacteal and they absorb glucose and amino acids with the help of active transport. For a better understanding, let's see another view of a villi. Some cells are specifically adapted to absorb materials. These cells, they have long processes and this way the surface area is greatly increased through which the food materials can be absorbed into the cell. This food material may be certain fatty acids, amino acids and the glucose molecules. The cell surface membrane which surrounds the cell is very thin. All the nutrients and gases the cell needs have to pass through this membrane. and that is the surface area of that cell. So, the greater the surface area to volume ratio, the faster the rate of diffusion. This explains that why cells are so small. All the nutrients, oxygen and waste materials which have to pass, that is diffuse into or out of the cell quickly. Let's understand the formulas for the measurement of surface area and volume for a cuboid. So, for the surface area, height into width into number of sides. For a cell of 1 centimeter height and 1 centimeter width, it will be 1 multiplied by 1 multiplied by 6 is equal to 6. Whereas the volume will be 1 multiplied by 1 multiplied by 1, it will be 1. So, surface area to volume ratio for a cuboid with a height of 1 centimeter, it will be 6:1. Whereas, if we compare it with a cell with a height of 6 centimeter, its surface area will be 216. Its volume will also be 216. So, the surface area to volume ratio will be 1:1. Now, you can see that the smaller the cells, the more the surface area. The larger the cell, the lesser the surface area. So, this makes a sense that why the cells are very much smaller, so that the surface area increases. Dears, have you ever thought that why Allah has made our body, the body of human beings, of billions of cells and not of a single cell? Now consider this by taking an example of a cuboid with 30 micrometer height. And again 27 cubes if we take with the same volume, then each cube will be of 10 micrometer in height. You have already studied the formulas for surface area and volume. Now you see that the surface area for that one large cube will be 5400 micrometer, whereas the total surface areas of 27 small cubes is 16,200 micrometer. So you see that when a body is made up of smaller cells, then the surface area increases as compared to its volume. With the increase of the surface area, exchange of gases and chemical reactions that increases. If the cells are larger in size, then there is a decreased rate of chemical exchange. As a result, the cell dies. So, for that reason and for every other reason we know or we do not know, we all are thankful to Allah. I hope you have understood all the topics that I have explained. Allah Hafiz.